Hi parents, welcome to the virtual edition of Parent Information Night. The one good thing about this is you did not have to rush to get to Forest Hills by 5 o'clock some evening and be sitting in the little kindergarten chairs listening to this presentation. I apologize for talking fast, but the videos limit us to 15 minutes and I have a lot of information to cover in that short amount of time. As you probably know, our kindergarten day looks like this. The kids can arrive anytime between 8:35 to 8:55. The bell does ring at 8:55, so the kids should be in the room by that time. We have this soft start time to allow for more social distancing for the drop-off period. When the kids come in the room, there is always some type of worksheet on their desk that they can choose to do if they want. You may have noticed it's the Connect the Dot alphabet sheets. If they don't choose to do it, they just put it in their mailbox and they can be doing it at home or giving it to a sibling. They also have Legos to choose. We're sharpening pencils. They have a notebook that they can be working in as well. Some of them just like to sit and chat with their friends. And sometimes it just takes some kids that long just to get their folders unpacked and put in their mailboxes. After that, we do our morning meeting, and then we begin our reading workshop, which takes a whole entire morning, and then we go to recess and lunch. We come back kind of to relax and have a story time. Then we work on the writing portion of our language arts curriculum called Being a Writer. We go to our specials. You know that right now we're doing music with Mr. Tomford. Then we'll take a large motor break. And so far, this has been a second playground visit. There was one day that it rained and we utilized our sensory path in the hallway, which gives the kids an opportunity to do some yoga moves. They're doing some balancing, some spinning, and some hopping and jumping. Then it is time for math, and we finish the last 30 minutes with either science, health, or social studies. And then it's already time to say goodbye. There's been a few days that somebody might say, right after lunch or whatnot, how much longer until we go home? Then I'll say, oh, it's going to go by so quick. You only have about 180 more minutes. And they'll look at me a little puzzled and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it'll be time to go home before you know it. And they just walk away. So I'm glad that they're kindergartners and the whole concept of time hasn't really kicked in yet. Our morning meeting is kind of a fun time because that's the chance for our class to build trust, relationships, and that sense of community. We practice greeting each other in new ways every day, making that eye contact, trying to talk loud enough through our masks that we can hear each other and learning each other's names. Today we did the ball greeting, which was lots of fun. We also practice sharing our ideas and well as trying to listen and respond to each other's thoughts. And the VIP has the job for our morning calendar to kind of keep track of how many days we've been in school and do some of our daily math routines as well. Now, I am so excited about our new literacy curriculum. It is new this year. One of our kindergarten teachers piloted it last year and had huge success with it. It is a big program. There's 3 components. There's being a reader, making meaning, and being a writer. And it's through the Center for the Collaborative Classroom. It's really a research-based literacy program. And the being a reader part is only used in kindergarten through 2nd grade classrooms, but that's kind of their foundational literacy program with skills and strategies. This includes our phonics, our word study, our fluency, and also handwriting. The making meaning component, that's used in kindergarten through 6th grade classrooms, and this kind of helps the kids deepen their comprehension, vocabulary, and critical thinking skills. We'll read a wide variety of fiction and nonfiction texts in this program. The Being a Writer program is also used in kindergarten through 6th grade classrooms. This is kind of developing our skills as writers who can communicate effectively kind of for a range of purposes and audiences. Your child may have told you about brave spelling. I really encourage them just to be brave. We've discovered that it's letters that are making those sounds, that you would not be writing numbers in order to write down your thoughts. And just do the best you can. And as long as you know what it says, that is just fine. We're working in a September writing journal right now that they'll bring home at the end of the month. And I encourage you to keep that because each month they'll bring one home and you will notice a big development in their writing skills. So it takes a lot of time, but I'm so excited for the success that your child is going to have in their reading ability. After that, we get ready for recess and lunch. We take a whole classroom bathroom break, and they're actually out on the playground from 10:55 to 11:15. Then they come in for lunch and they sanitize their hands. The kids who have home lunch start eating right away. The children that are purchasing lunch here at school get in that line, and there's adults there to help them, guide them through that process. I joined them at 11:30 in the cafeteria, and that leaves them 10 more minutes to eat. So that's when I kind of encourage them, keep eating, keep eating, wait to talk till you're done. And okay, you've eaten enough of your chips. Now try to eat some of your sandwich. So I try to keep everything moving along. We're supposed to leave the cafeteria at 11:40. I try to stretch it out as long as I can. The next classroom comes in at 11:50. So right now we've kind of been stretching it to about 11:45 and sneaking out. And just an FYI that nobody in our class that I'm aware of as of yet has any food allergies. So that is kind of a blessing this year. We don't have to be on top guard with the peanut butter or nuts. We go to specials. I know the specialists have another link for you to watch. This is going to be the order after our 21 days with Mr. Tomford. We'll do PE with Mrs. Jacobich, which I was happy to see because the weather should still be fairly nice. She'll have us outside as much as possible. If the weather is bad, then we'll be in the gymnasium. Then it'll be Spanish with Miss Norman, and we'll finish with art with Mr. Hagstrom, and then the cycle will start over. This 21 days is so that there's less people coming in the room for the COVID procedures and protocols. Now math. You probably have seen the daily math sheets coming home. We always begin our math block with a number talk, which encourages the kids to think and to be able to verbally express how they're solving problems. How they're solving problems, and give me kind of an insight on their math ability and their math thinking process. We do a daily math routine where we have a penny chart, we review numbers, and we have a 120s chart. We do a lot of that math talk, like I said, during our lessons, where they'll be doing a lot of sharing as to how they solve the problem so that different strategies can be shared. Now, this is my hope that we could work individually, we'd work with partners and in small groups and as a whole class. Right now, we're pretty much working individually and as a whole class. We do share with partners. We sit with our feet together, legs are straight, and it's toe to toe, so that we can share with each other the answers that we think are correct and what they're seeing in a math problem. Now, those workbook pages that are coming home, they're kind of just a little glimpse to see if your child caught on to the concept during the day. So if you could look those over at night, that would be your best indicator as to whether or not your child could use some extra practice in a certain skill. I know some people are looking at those right now and thinking that they're pretty basic, which they are right now, and so know that it takes about 30 seconds for the kids to complete it, and it's just a real quick kind of check-in with the kids to make sure that they're understanding the concept. Now, science, social studies, and health. In social studies, we'll be doing U.S. history with people, events, and early days. Our government and citizenship will be community helpers, symbols, and geography. We have Officer Ryan, our police liaison officer, coming in at the end of the month. In science, we'll do life science with trees, plants, and animals. Our first science unit will be our tree unit. We do earth science, where we explore weather, seasons, and day versus night. And our physical science, which will be about wood and paper. And this will be our second unit. It'll come right after we finish our trees. For our health, we talk about safety at home and school. We go over our 5 senses. We do a lot with mental and emotional health, illness prevention. We also learn about some of the major organs inside of our body and proper nutrition. Then it's time for us to say goodbye. The bell rings at 3:15. We end with packing up our backpacks with those folders. You've been great about sending those folders back and forth each day. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any notes that you need to get to me, it's best to put it in those red folders because the kids, it's their job to check inside that folder each morning to see if there's any notes that they need to give to me. For the kids that are riding the bus, if you can help them kind of memorize those bus numbers, that always helps. And for those of you that are picking up and dropping off your child, just an FYI that the buses hardly have any children on them. In fact, today there was one bus that left that had 0 kids on it. So if that pickup circle's getting a little frustrating, or if it's getting harder and harder to come to pick your child up each day and you live within the Eden Prairie boundaries, know that the bus is always an option for you. That pickup circle is going to get probably a little bit more crazier. This next week, we still are going to have kind of staggered dismissal. And then the next following week, it'll go a little bit quicker. So you may see more people out by the pickup circle. And we really need people to pull up by the curb, have those car seats on the side by the curb or the booster seats so that your child can get in. And then it's almost easier to pull up a little bit farther around the circle, stop, and then buckle your child in just so that can keep moving so that nobody's car gets hit or, God forbid, a child gets hit as well. Our classroom management is that our rules are that we need to be safe, kind, and responsible. I say show 5 if I need to get the kids' attention. We're talking about the zones of regulation, how we try to keep ourselves in the green zone, and that if you're getting to the red zone where you're ready to lose control, we're kind of teaching the kids tricks and strategies to calm themselves down. We do have a calming space in our room. Because of COVID, I would call somebody to help have your child kind of escorted out so that they could do a calming space where it would just be them, where they could have a chance to move and do some yoga. And more than likely it would be the sensory path. If we really have issues where the kids are struggling, we come up with a fix-it plan and then I'll email or call you. But I have to tell you, this group of kids is just delightful. They have been so kind, so respectful to me and their friends, and really seem to be concerned about doing a good job in school and being a good student. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we're not in the honeymoon period, but they really have been doing a good job. The only thing I'm kind of working on is always looking forward when we're walking in the line and talking loud enough so that we can hear each other through the mask. But masks have really been going well, as I had mentioned in the newsletter today. Now, parent-teacher conferences are coming up real quick in the beginning of October. They're held in the evening between 4 to 8 on October 8th and the 13th, and then all day on October 9th. They're still working out how you're going to sign up for those. I'm guessing it might be like a sign-up genius. They are going to be virtual for this fall. We'll do conferences again in February, and hopefully they will be in person. Just an FYI, since these conferences are coming up, that's when I'll talk one-on-one with you about how your child's doing so far. But when we're doing the Zoom call on Tuesday night for questions, I won't be addressing how your specific child is doing out of respect for you, your child, and the rest of the parents who have some questions to answer. And I just really appreciate you supporting your child's learning. They're doing great with their supplies. I'm looking forward to a great school year. Keeping my fingers crossed, we do not have to resort to distance learning. I started the iPads today on Friday, and we'll be getting the kids used, or I will be getting the kids used to what they would be seeing if we would have to resort to that distance learning. So my time is about up. look for that Zoom link. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Zoom meeting, or just email me your questions as well, and I'd be happy to address them. Thank you so much, and my timer's going to go